You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the July 15th meeting for the Michigan City Small Business Roundtable. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Caroline Cartagena Edwards. I'm the Economic Development Manager at the Economic Development Corporation for Michigan City. We are partnering with the City of Michigan City and hosting today's Small Business Roundtable. We're really focusing on our businesses within the TDD district. So TDD, Transit Development District. Traditionally, downtown, y'all have known, has been Upper Franklin, but with everything that's going on, we've recently had our maps kind of redrawn to where our new downtown is really going all the way south to Amesville and extending a bit east and west. So we really tried to hit a lot of businesses these last couple of weeks and make sure that we were getting the word out, because we want to make sure we hear from you, what's going well, what are some pain points, where can we assist you, but also provide you guys with quick updates from various departments within the city. We have our Director of Redevelopment, Skylar York, here. We have Terry Greetham, Director of Special Events, William Walker, Assistant Superintendent of Parks Department, of course, Mayor Angie. We have David Albers of our business building superintendent, and then we have multiple partners that are sitting in the back, including our Chamber of Commerce. We have Visitors Bureau, we have our fire department, and I believe police is on their way as well. So really just an opportunity for us to provide y'all some quick updates, but again, real focus here will be to also hear from you, again, what's going well, pain points, and what can we do to assist you. So again, just kind of focusing on this area with our small businesses, and thank you all for being here and taking the time out. And with that, I'll pass it on to Mayor Angie.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you for attending today. The Transit Development District happened because of our double track project, which we all know is still underway as far as the multi-use mixed-use development. One of the big things I'll say about TDD, I serve on the regional board, and what is important is that we're all looking for opportunities and ways to enhance, our communities along the rail line. One of the things that I thought was important is that the extension of our downtown area, to make sure that, number one, we figure out a way to grow that area going towards Amesfield, but second, but probably the most important, is how do we support businesses along that corridor? And, we've talked about marketing, we've talked about Restaurant Week. How do we fund these things for you all to get people there year round? I was in May, I was in Milwaukee at the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Conference, where mayors from Canada and from the United States around the Great Lakes were there. How do we become a winter wonderland? How do we become a winter city with winter events that will allow all of the businesses to thrive? And then how do we assist new entrepreneurs in meeting the needs of, some of our manufacturers? I think it's all important. But I do believe that there's an opportunity, a unique opportunity for all of our businesses to thrive. But we don't want to just be a summertime place. We want to be a year-round place where we get people not only into our restaurants, but maybe there's some other businesses along the way that can provide services for all the new housing that's happening within the downtown area. So I know you're going to hear updates from the team. I did want to make sure I introduce Dr. Dominique Edwards, but I call her Dominique. But she's our new planning director as well. So I see fire in the back. I'm trying to see if I see anybody else on our team that wasn't named behind her. Yeah. So just want to make sure that if you have any questions, but we really want to hear from you. The roundtable, we can give updates, but we really need to hear from you. Hear what your pain points are. I know that early in June, I was in Bloomington with a bunch of mayors talking about the homeless population. So there's several things that we're working on, but I'm just going to tell you all I can tell everybody. These are things that have been happening for a decade, and I can't change them overnight. So having your input is important to making those changes. It's not something that I can do in a vacuum, but I do need to hear from all of you. So thank you all for coming. I'm glad that we have a packed house. This is what we need. I know we had, Dave and I had roundtables with some of the builders and contractors to talk about permits and some other things. So we're going to continue to do these things throughout the year as we move forward. So thank you all for being here.
With that, we'll go ahead and start with some quick updates. Will, if you wouldn't mind sharing what you have going on at the park department and just programming related to downtown as well.
Okay, so my name is William Walker. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Michigan City Parks and Rec, with a strong focus on recreation right now, trying to rebuild recreation in the city and not trying to take over anything from anybody, but really filling in gaps of what we feel have been missing around town. Summertime, we've had a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if anybody's heard about Summer City Sweat, the summer workout program that we've had going on. That's been 4 to 7 free workouts a week that we've offered to the community. That's been going very well, but it's in the last 2 weeks of the program, or 3 weeks of the program now. It was 8 weeks of free workout program. Our summer day camp is in the last 2 weeks right now as well. Over at City Kids Day Camp, it's housed at Lake Hills Elementary. We've had between 25 and 35 kids a week, taking a lot of field trips to a lot of places downtown, and all the parks around the city. Some of the stuff that we have focused on the downtown area is Party at the Plaza, which got rained out last week, but tonight actually we'll be at the 7th Street Plaza at 7th and Franklin Street. It'll be free. Well, we'll be playing music from 6 to 8 o'clock. It's a karaoke night, so anybody can come up and pick a song and sing it out. But around 8:30 tonight, we'll be showing the movie The Goonies, and we'll do that every other week for the next, well, it's 3 dates. Today, 2 weeks, and then another 2 weeks. It'll be a movie every night at 7th Street Plaza. So that's one of the things that we got going on. Bucket golf is something that we've done this summer. Bucket golf I call full swing putt-putt. We've taken it around to 4 different parks so far, and we'll do one more Pullman Field next Thursday. We'll be at Pullman Field, and like I said, full swing putt-putt. We got buckets. We set up a 9-hole golf course all around. We were going to charge for it, but I decided to do it for free just to get people to come out, more activity for people to do. And it's been a good year so far. We've also started chess club this year. We brought that back, working with the chess club from the senior center. They've done a great job of being there, being hands-on with kids when they come in, teaching them how to play the game. And it's really a self-guided group. Whoever shows up, they come to compete at all different levels, and they teach young kids, and they compete against each other, and they stay for 2 hours, and they, a solid 10 to 20 people every first and third Monday over at Chess Club. So, it say right here, the first thing, the auto app is something real big that we started this year. Everything that we offer with Michigan City Parks and Rec is available to be seen on the auto app. Is also allows us to get the word out to people. If you sign up for the app, we can text out, we can do in-app messages to make sure that everybody knows stuff that's going on. We can push out notifications. So that's one of the ways that we are trying to drive more people to get on the app so we can get more word out about all our events going on. But Park and Rec is here to help, here to partner with any small businesses on any things that you're trying to do. Definitely reach out to me, and I'm willing to work with you all on different events and stuff that we can do around the city. Collaboration is going to move the city forward for sure.
Thank you.
No
and
problem.
We'll save questions for the end, so if you have any for anybody that's speaking up here, by all means, you're going to have plenty of time to share those. Terry, if you wouldn't mind sharing stuff that's going on at special events.
Yeah, so again, I'm Terry Greetham. I'm the Director of Special Events here for the City of Michigan City. So far this year, we've already executed 6 major events, all very successful. St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Easter Egg Hunt. We partnered with Harbor Country Adventures for the first annual Food and Music Festival on Memorial Day weekend. We worked with the Park Department and several groups to put together our Juneteenth celebration this year, which I think was a huge success, and we're looking to continue to grow on that. Our Patriotic Parade, we've gotten it back up. It's not where it was when I was a kid, which is what I'd like to see again, but we had close to 100 units. So it was a very, very successful parade. Immediately following that, we executed what we will call the first annual Braden Fisk Family Fun Day. For those of you who don't know, Braden Fisk is played here at Michigan City High School, now plays for the Los Angeles Rams. He came to us and asked us to help him put on an event. It was very successful. Gave out 500 backpacks to kids, hot dogs, chips, everything. It was just really a fun day, and I think it's something that we're obviously going to be able to grow moving into the future. The only event that we were not able to execute this year so far was the Kitty Parade. The Kitty Parade was scheduled for June 21st, but unfortunately it was over 100 degrees and the heat index was too high, and it just wasn't safe for the kids and the families. So our plan right now, we haven't set a date, but we're looking to move the Kitty Parade to sometime in October. We're going to turn it into a Halloween trick-or-treat / parade. So we've got a lot of work to do on that, but we'll come out with an announcement on that pretty soon. This week, and I apologize for my attire, I've been piling sand since 6 o'clock this morning, but we are having our 4th annual Singing Sand Sculpting Festival down at Washington Park. It has become the premier sand sculpting festival on the Great Lakes, and according to Bill Knight from the Sand Lovers, it's the 2nd largest sand festival in the country right now. So we're hoping we get a lot of people out. It's this weekend, starts Friday. Friday is free to come out, and then Saturday and Sunday it's $5 each day. It's the only event that we charge for, and that's just to help us to be able to cover the expenses of the event, because it is a very expensive event to put on, but it's also, I think, one of the premier events here in Michigan City and Northwest Indiana, and probably in the state of Indiana. So that's this weekend. In 2 weeks, we will be working with our friends from the CVB on the X Insurance Great Lakes Grand Prix. They have done a great job in growing that event. Used to be just the race. Now it's the race, the golf outing. There's several charity events earlier in the week. So it's a huge event for the city, big undertaking, but we all of the city departments work with the CVB to help execute it. As a person who spent 25 years in professional motorsports, I can tell you that it is a world-class motorsports event. And in its category, I would rival it with the Indianapolis 500 or the Daytona 500 when it comes to powerboat racing. Following that, on August 16th and 17th, we don't directly put on the Lebesnick Art Festival, but we do everything we can to help them. It's an amazing event. If you haven't been to the Lebesnick Art Festival, you need to go. It's a beautiful event. Great local artists, a lot of vendors, just a really nice event. Following that, the last, basically Labor Day weekend is our Oktoberfest. For those of you who are originally from Michigan City, remember Oktoberfest was massive back in the 80s and 90s. Kind of dwindled away over the next few years, and 4 years ago we brought it back. It was somewhat small. I think we had 25 art, craft, and merchandise vendors, 20 bands, maybe 5 or 6 food trucks. This year we have 52 bands over 4 days. We will have close to 100 art, craft, and merchandise vendors, and I believe we have 14 food vendors. So getting it back up to what it was, I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where it has the rides and all of that crazy stuff, but little by little we're going to keep growing that event because it's a Michigan City tradition. And for those of you who are saying, why do you have Oktoberfest in September? It's always been Labor Day weekend, and it's always been called Oktoberfest. I know they changed the name to Labor Days there for a while, but Oktoberfest is back Labor Day weekend, so we're very excited about that. Washington Park Zoo will be putting on the Boo at the Zoo October 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's a great event. Kids come down to the zoo and they walk around and look at the animals, and local businesses, small businesses, anybody can participate by passing out candy to the kids. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you could actually probably reach out to Will or the Washington Park Zoo, and they can give you information on how to participate. And then our last big event of the season will be our Festival of Lights celebration. That's December 6th. That is the parade down Franklin Street. And then we have a chili cook-off and a vendor market following. We'll get more information out about that. And then we brought in something new this year. Mary Angie asked us to look into. So we're doing something called summer grubbing. Summer grubbing. That didn't come out right. Summer grubbing. It's being held on Wednesdays at Pullman Park. We have food trucks out there, trying to get food trucks involved more in things going on in the city. That program will grow by next year. This year's kind of a pilot year for it. As far as small businesses, what I can tell you is all of our parades are free. It's free advertising. You get a group together, you get some signage, you decorate a car or a wagon or something. It's free. There are very few parades out there, especially the patriotic parade, our patriotic parade. When you start talking about 4th of July parades, there's very few parades out there that are free to participate in. Ours is. It's free advertising. It's a good way to show the community who you are, pass out literature about your businesses. If you're interested in learning more about our events and how you can get involved, like I say, for the Singing Sand Sculpting Festival, we'll have somewhere around 50 art, craft, and merchandise vendors, but we also have local groups, local companies who will come out, pass out information about who they are and what they do. So if you're interested in that, just come see me. I think that's about it. Not very busy.
Yeah, and let me add one other event so that because it's important. With the police department, our national night out is August the 5th, and it's downtown. So that'd be another great opportunity as well to partner with the Michigan City Police Department. It's growing every year, and that'll be August the 5th, Tuesday, August the 5th. So make sure you put that on your calendars too.
All right, we're going to transition a little bit from events to permitting. David, if you can touch on what you do and just things that would be applicable to our small businesses.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is David Albers. I am the superintendent of the building department. The mayor and Skylar brought me in February of this year. I come from the business world, and I think that the mayor recognized that there's a need to start streamlining things within specifically the building permitting inspections department. And so we started implementing a new system that they'd already been working on getting up to speed. It's called Cloud Permit. So up until March 1st, everything was, they used a system that wasn't the greatest. It was primarily the paper-based system. And so in order to help increase efficiency and streamline the permitting process, along with inspections and communication and having not only transparency but accountability with the public and with our inspectors and our building commissioner. The new system, Cloud Permit, serves very well to fulfill those things. Since March 1st is when we went live with Cloud Permit. Since then, we've processed over 1,000 building permits. It's actually 988. There's 45 that's waiting on payment right now. So we're over 1,000. It's brought in a significant amount of revenue for the city as well, over $360,000 in contractor registration fees and building permit fees. We are trying to get our processing times down. It was pretty bad. We're not living in the past anymore. We're talking about where we're going. So right now our oldest is about a month, about 4 weeks that it's in processing. One of the biggest challenges that we have is not getting the best information in. So when someone submits a permit application without the proper info, drawings and scopes of work and things like that, we have to then go back to them and say, hey, we need more information. Well, that just turns into a back and forth that can turn into weeks and weeks and weeks. So we're trying to cut that down. We're going to come up with basically one-pagers of information sheets for residents and contractors to be able to double check, okay, I have my drawings, I have my site plan, I have all of these things, basically a quick reference sheet to help expedite the whole process. So my goal is that we don't, ultimately, we're gonna get to the point where we're under 2 weeks, like 2 weeks would be the max, that there's a permit that's in review. And some of the things like a fence, a roof or something like that will be within a couple of days of turnaround. So I know that's been a lot of feedback that we've received over the past several months of just how long it's taken, the lack of communication. So we're working diligently to fix all of those things, and always welcome your all feedback, especially small business owners. We know that it's important for you guys to thrive so the city can thrive, and we're here as operating as the business as well. We provide a service, and that's to you all. So that's really it. If you have any questions ever, you can email mcbuilding@michigancity.com. That is my email, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. You can always stop into the office as well. So we're here to help. We're here as a resource, and just want to really drive that point home.
I know we have liquor license on here. Are you gonna cover that, Skylar?
I'll jump in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless Dave won't, no.
No.
That's what I'm looking at.
So the process is fairly simple. There's been a little bit of a learning curve for the community and for contractors to start using the new system, but it really is a pretty simple user interface. And once people get the hang of it after once, it goes really quick. So.
In the open office hours, share those.
Yeah, so we started doing open office hours, so every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Either myself or our permit specialist will be right down here. So anyone can come in, you don't need an appointment or anything like that. It's just open to the public to come on in and talk about anything regarding permitting or inspections or using the online system.
Thank you. And then we'll go ahead and transition over to Skylar, talking about redevelopment.
Yeah, I'll start with the
And,
liquor.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll start with the liquor license just because it's what's on there. We started probably 3 or 4 months ago talking about our liquor license district downtown, which we have the Municipal Riverfront Liquor License District. With the new TDD district, we have a redevelopment area that goes further past 11th Street now. We actually have connected our south TIF with our north TIF through the middle of our city, which basically goes down Franklin Street as the backbone of that district. So it allows us a little bit more flexibility with our liquor license district. The state law says we can go up to 3,000 feet away from the river. We are not at the max of that. So last night we passed, the redevelopment commission went ahead and decided that we have a map. We have our new liquor license rules and regulations. We rewrote those to be a little bit more understandable because it was really kind of ambiguous of how do I apply for this? How does this work? And it's just like, oh, well, let's write an essay of why you deserve this. And it's just like, well, that's not really the way to do it. So we've created an application, revised our rules, and we revised the map to reflect what the state law says. State law says you got to be inside the redevelopment area, but you also have to be within 3,000 feet of the river and inside. So those are the 2 check boxes. We've done that. Last night we passed, we unanimously said we want to send this on to council. Council will basically decide if we can do this. If not, we just revert back to what we have right now, but hopefully they will look favorably upon this and allow us to expand the liquor license district. If we're able to expand it, it gets us further down Michigan Boulevard, but it also gets us past 11th Street, almost to Ripley Street. So that's about the extent that we can go. That's about 3,000 feet away from the center line of the river. It also allows us to go north and east a little bit, but that's really the extent. So unfortunately, the law has a boundary, if you will. So we've sent that on to council right now. The other piece of this that we'll be establishing with the redevelopment, with the Municipal Riverfront District, is we will be establishing a fund. Originally it was called the Downtown Dining Fund. I believe Mayor was served on when they kind of started this. But I've been speaking with Mayor about this and some of the councilmen, and it may change names. It may not be called the Downtown Dining Fund. It may just be called the Downtown Event Fund. I don't know what it'll be called. But the idea is that for the liquor licenses that we will be giving out, they've always been free, and then we don't charge for them. The city doesn't charge for them, but the state charges the normal fee for them, which is $1,000 a year. From now on, once we get this established, the businesses or the restaurants that receive these, even the ones that have them right now, will pay $2,500 a year into this fund, which was supposed to be established a long time ago. It just never was, but it's always been $2,500. We've not changed the fee. We just kept the fee the same. We just never have established the fund. They'll pay $2,500 now. They'll go into the fund, and then it'll be up to us to work with our council to establish the fund, and then basically define what that fund could be used for. And you just heard kind of some ideas of the downtown events that are going on now. Will's doing an excellent job of getting our plaza kind of in use. But also you have the downtown Dora district now that Councilman Coulter's been working on. Mayor's got some ideas as well. We're looking at markets downtown. There's just a lot of things that go on downtown. Could there be billboards? Could it be used for advertising, for downtown dining? There's just a lot of ideas around that. So this would give us a funding mechanism to do some of that. So that's what we'll be, those are the three things, those are the things we'll be sending to council, and hopefully can get approved in the next, hopefully month or so, and get all that in order. Any questions about that? Mayor, did I hit everything? Okay. Let's see here. What else? Where should I go now? Let's go to the Franklin on 11th Street. The garage is open now. We had a grand open for that. We'll be doing our final punch list walkthrough. I believe it's this week. Maybe even be today. I have to look at my calendar. It's this week. Operation and maintenance will transition into Flaherty and Collins, basically managing and operating the garage and the parking garage and the station. The Franklin is, I forget what story they're on now, but they're coming right along with that project. Basically, they've shifted from the garage to all hands on deck. Now they can pull off of the garage and really focus on getting the tower built, the residential tower built. But the garage is functional. You can park in the garage. I know a lot of people are still using the surface lot, but you are allowed to park in the garage. It does not have a charge right now. There's no fee to park in the garage at this time. What other downtown projects are we working on?
What is the timeline right now as far as completion for the Franklin?
The Franklin's scheduled to be completed, I believe March of next year, on 26. That being said, they may not be 100%, but maybe some of the floors are finished. But yeah, they're scheduled to be done March of next year. I do believe there's a website with a lot of information on it too. The Franklin, they've set up a website for the Franklin. So soon. Other downtown projects we're working on. We have some workforce housing projects we're working on at the corner of 8th and the Boulevard. That's still, it's called Singing Sand Suites. We may change names, but that's the name we gave it for some grant applications that we used and that we received some funding through. We've received some IEDC money. We also received some Lilly money for that. So we're just working through the due diligence process with we have to do survey work, we have to do some testing of the soil, meaning how deep do we have to go for pilings and things of that nature. And then we're closing out the IDEM remediation on that as well, which would allow us to then construct the residential component of this. So we've cleaned it. It's really an interesting project because we've cleaned it. We've taken it from a brownfield to something functional. The other project we're working on is 5th and Pine. You may recall that's the Memorial Hospital, or the old hospital site as people refer to it as. It's right directly over there. It's been sitting there for a while. I know people have always asked, well, when's that ever going to happen? Well, it's happening. So we're working through the due diligence with a group called DAC. I forget what DAC stands for, but it's the brothers and sisters name. But it's a group out of Chicago. They rose to the top, and they were the top contender out of seven responses that we received for the property when we put out an RFP. And they rose to the top, and they were the most creative with their financing, and they were really hungry to get this project. And so they were the most creative with the ways they were financing this project, where it didn't all fall back on the city. So they were chosen to be the developer of choice. We are working through an economic development agreement with them right now, and we'll probably bring that to the RDC in August, I hope in August, and then we will start our development project with that. They'll be off trying to get their financing all together and finalized, and we'll start moving it through council and things of that nature. I'll touch a little bit on SOLA. SOLA right now, tonight is the first hearing on SOLA at the not the redevelopment. We had one hearing last night at redevelopment. We passed our intent to create a TIF district for SOLA. But tonight they will go to council, and they will be requesting the ability to use two tools, and that's an economic improvement district and a developer-backed bond. So they'll be requesting those two things to council. This is the first reading tonight, so there's two more readings they have to do. They have to go through, but tonight will be the first reading, and then the next reading will be August 4th. You're free to attend those meetings, the public meetings. And then their goal is to have everything from the tools for the city would be offering, incentives, tools, closed or in place by August 19th. And then between August 19th and December 19th, they will be finalizing all of their financing and getting all that in order. But those are the two deadlines, the two benchmarks, August 19th and December 19th. Did I miss anything of importance? There's always a lot of things going on downtown, so we're always working to make it better. Last night we did improve St. Paul's. You may have seen the new playground they built there at St. Paul's Church. We're going to take down the fence and put a nice decorative fence up, so we'll be getting rid of the chain link fence there, which I'm really happy about getting rid of that. I think it'll be a great improvement to our downtown. I know that seems such a small thing, but I think it'll make a big improvement to the streetscape in that area.
Can you talk a little bit about You Are Beautiful?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. I'm sorry. Yes, You Are Beautiful. That's a great one. So I've taken down the You Are Beautiful sign. You might notice it's missing. It's actually safe. It's being sandblasted and repowder coated. Pat Volts from the Parks Department helped me get that in place, and it was he did all the work and getting the people to actually found somebody who can do something of that size. So I give Pat the credit for that. It is in the shop right now. It's being sandblasted. It will be painted the same blue that it was before. And then what we will be doing with it is building a new mound or decorative plinth, as it's called. Over here, we own the Redevelopment Commission owns some property in front of the water tower, right across from the skate park on the north side of US 12. There's that little gravel lot there. There used to be an old building there, and they used to park run down trucks there, but we bought it and got rid of all of it. So that will become a new trailhead for the Singing Sands trail through here, and it will have features such as a water station, a shelter, and then the You Are Beautiful will be moved to that space, so you'll be able to see it when you come around the corner. It will be basically positioned where it's welcoming you into our city, and it'll be a functional space. It'll have, I believe it's going to have maybe 6 parking spaces so that you can park there and jump on the trailhead if you would like and ride your bike around. So that's where the You Are Beautiful will eventually be its permanent home, so we won't have to move it again. God, did I hit it all there? Hopefully.
Yes. So.
There's a lot of other things, but some of them are still being baked right now, and I'd say they're still a little soft. So.
Well, I want to thank all these guys for providing some updates. We're going to transition out to you guys. Any comments, questions that you have related to anything that they said, or just anything else that you have on your mind? We have the room till 10, so the floor is yours. Are there any questions? Yes, Steve.
Okay. So my first question, and maybe some people aren't aware of it, when you spoke about Dora, can you go into that a little bit more? Because
I can tell you what I know about it. I'll be very honest. It was on.
It stands for and all that.
It was on the list, and I had Caroline take it off because I was like, "Whoa, I'm not the guy to talk about this." I know enough about it. to be dangerous. Greg knows the most about it. He did a lot of research on it, but what a DORA is, it's actually an acronym, and it stands for Designated Outdoor Refreshment Area. So it's basically, so we give out, if a business elects to participate in a DORA, first of all, not all businesses have to participate in the DORA. You can say, I don't want people drinking in my establishment. Okay, fine, you can opt out, and you put a sign on your door that says, no DORA here, you can't bring your drink in. But if a business elects to participate in the DORA, basically the bars in town or whomever is hosting the DORA event gets a cup, and it's a special cup, and they can be able to serve drinks in it, and then you can walk without a fence around you within the designated area. Does that make sense?
So you can go from one establishment to another.
Correct.
Per se.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You still have to have the special cup, so you can't just walk out with your pint glass and head down the street. You gotta have the designated cup to be able to participate in it. But things could go on like at the plaza where there could be a special event, it could be hosted. You could then, instead of the way we always do events, like for the block party that's coming up, you'll see a fence around everything because you can't go out because you don't have the special cup. Theoretically, we wouldn't have to do that anymore. You'd be able to have a little bit more freedom to walk around and then patron the businesses, like on a First Friday or something like that. Have a glass of wine or a cup of wine and go walk into hoity-toity and walk around. Those are the things that it could open up opportunities for. There's a lot of other things we have to do. We still have to do the signage for it. What was some of the other things? Greg's got it all kind of teed up. He just has to get the signage done and a couple of other things, I believe, done. But it's all teed up, and I think it's approved through the, yes, speak.
Yeah.
Yes, he probably knows a lot about it too.
Right, so I've been working closely with Greg Coulter. He's been great with that. So Carlton BAC Marketing, I'm also working with Main Street. And Main Street and myself, we've communicated with Greg, and it looks like it's in the last phase. They're still waiting for, like a couple pieces of paperwork to get signed by particular nonprofits in the area. And then Greg is taking this on, so he has got to devise a board. So we were actually going to take it to Mayor Angie and kind of let her run with how she wants that board to look and how complicated that board needs to be to govern the DORA itself, and of course probably communicate to the city attorney. But it's in the last final phases, so just if someone's even interested in the board.
Yeah, it's there. Some of the places that have it, South Bend has one. Fort Wayne has one.
Most of the cities.
A lot of the cities around here have them now. Even some of the smaller cities have them now. So if you ever get a chance to participate in one of the events, I know Greg went and I think participated in a couple of the events at other cities. Just looked them up, found them, and went and did it. See how it works. Again, it's not every business has to participate. It's a decision that you will choose. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, what's up? Dora, so I have a question about that too, since we're on the topic. I worked in the Indianapolis during the Super Bowl when it kind of like was revealed that that law wasn't on the books, so like not allow people to walk on the street with cups. So I'm just wondering, like, would it be only special events like you're talking about? Uptown Art District a certain day, or is it just sort of like in India it was kind of an open thing. It's like, well, now we can do this basically permanently. And then also with that, of course, I'm going to ask about the boundary of it. Island Bar, the Southern Door, that's soon to open south of 11th Street, and so I'm just wondering, are we going to be able to participate in that as well, being not, in the Uptown Historic District?
We have to pull. We have maps.
Yeah.
It's special events and areas, designated areas. So we need to look at the maps because probably at that time, I don't know if we included the whole TDD boundary.
I don't think we
downtown
did.
was. So something that probably should be looked at. But I know they passed it with boundaries of certain areas and for special events.
And you can have more than one door in a city. You can have, I think, up to 7. Not that we need 7. I'm just saying. You can have Chiefs back there going, no.
Because, as we're saying, it's kind of like in flux. It's like half baked and we're, coming up with the details of how it's all gonna work. Like, obviously, for me personally, like, I would love to be part of that, or even like suggest things, as in like, it'd be awesome to have that available for my neighborhood as well, right? Not just Uptown.
Yeah, and it's not in flux. They passed it already. So when we say that there's certain steps that have to be taken before we can actually start it. So I think that's the difference. No, the council already passed it.
Yeah.
Just where is it specific?
Yes, and they have the maps. So all that stuff was included. They had to happen before they could get their ordinance passed. It was tabled for a bit because of that. I think the portion that Carlton was talking about are just the final steps that you have to go through based on what the state law and requirements are. So we probably just need to get you a copy of the ordinance so that you can get the maps and all that.
Yeah.
And see if that's something that, in the future you can get an amendment for or something added to it.
And when the word special events keep coming up, and I think people keep looking at me, our events are quite a bit different. Obviously, at Oktoberfest, alcohol is served, but the city does not sell the alcohol. We have a vendor who has a liquor license, who we contract to take care of. So at this point, that's a whole nother discussion about how the special events will be affected by the door, because that gets into people bringing alcohol into the event and how it coincides with our insurance, who the vendor is, if the vendor's covering the insurance, whether they, so don't just assume that the special events like Oktoberfest, the Sand Festival, things like that the door is going to automatically apply to that. That's a whole nother conversation we have to have, and it'll have to involve our vendors who sell the alcohol at the event. So again, I'm learning as everybody else is, but it's not going to be a situation where you go, oh, we go to Oktoberfest, we can walk in and out. That's not going to be the case.
Just a quick question. Are the vendors separate, distinct from the downtown business owner, or the uptown, or the business owners? Are the vendors coming from outside in, or are they basically every business owner can become a city vendor?
I think it's set up that way where a business owner can become a vendor.
So the process to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've worked, since I've been here, we contracted a vendor for, let's say for Oktoberfest, that has done a fabulous job for us, follows all the rules, makes sure everything is safe. So we've stuck with that vendor. It's not saying that vendor couldn't be replaced, but at the same time, again, I've lived in the world of events for 30 years, and my thing is when I find something that works, if it works well, I'm not going to change it right away. I want to make sure I understand it. But if you're interested in becoming a vendor for the city, for special events, if you go to the website and go to the special events section of the website, there is a button where you can apply to become a vendor.
Any deference given to local business owners?
Oh, we certainly want to take care of local business owners, for sure. It's interesting because when I first started Oktoberfest, when I first brought it back, reached out to a lot of businesses, and everybody said, well, I don't know, it's first time, I don't think we want to do that. And then we had vendors that jumped in right away and said, yeah, we'd like to do it. And now that it's gone from 23 art, craft, and merchandise vendors to 100, now we have a lot of people going, oh, now I want to get in, and we're trying to grow it, at the right pace. And so certainly we want to take care of local vendors first, but I'm also not going to X out a vendor who was loyal from day one when we first started the event, who came in and said, hey, I'll take a risk with you. But we want to do everything we can to help the local businesses. But again, I'm not going to X somebody out who's been there for 4 years for us and stuck with us.
Just have them locate here.
I'll work on that.
Working on it.
Yeah, there's still a lot of questions about the door. I mean, there's still a lot of few things we got to figure out, like Carlton said, with the door, the board, how it actually functions locally. So there's still some things we have to do. What other questions?
Questions, comments? Yes.
So my question's for Terry. Can you walk us through what the October event's going to look like? You mentioned the parade, trick or treating, that kind of thing.
Well, I kind of It's a good thing. I always partner with you all with your trick or treating. So,
Yes, you have.
So,
We love the fact that you helped us fund the parade.
Yeah, so I think that it'll be something probably in conjunction with.
Yeah, for sure. We've been trying to figure out a way to get the kiddie parade bigger. When I was young, it was huge. And it's fallen down to, I think this year we had 15 groups signed up. But we want to keep it because we think it's important to get the kids involved. So we've been looking for a way to grow it, and I think thanks to Mother Nature, we were forced to cancel it in the middle of the summer, and the first idea that we thought of was fall. So yeah, we would love to sit down with you and see if we can work together. Instead of having 4 different events, 4 different groups putting it on, I'd rather get one big event that a lot of groups. One of the biggest challenges we have in the special events department is our special events department is 2 people. And so the park department, Mayor Angie, the mayor's office, the police, fire, everybody jumps in and helps. But when it comes to the planning and organization of it, there's 2 of us. And when you have a stretch, I think this year in June, had we been able to execute the kiddie parade, we would have done 5 major events in 17 days. And anybody who's planned an event knows it's not like you do an event and then you start planning the next one.
Right.
And when you look at events the size of the Sand Festival, Oktoberfest, what we do with the Great Lakes Grand Prix with Dan and Jack and the team there is a lot there. And so when we can find other organizations to partner with, like we did for Juneteenth on Eric and I was so much. It wasn't easy, it was hard work, but it was easier because we had the park department involved, we had Anthony Adams' house, we had a committee of different business owners who were participating in the planning process. That helps us. We can do more when we partner with groups. So definitely would love to talk to you about that. We have not set a date, we have not said this is exactly what we're doing. We just said, look, how about moving the kiddie parade to the fall? Plus we don't have a lot of fall events.
Right.
And there used to be some big events around Halloween, and now there aren't. So we would love to partner with you.
And just know Boo at the Zoo is the Saturday before Halloween. So we don't want to conflict with that.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to go to Boo at the Zoo.
Right.
And still have another opportunity that's, free downtown.
The first thing we do when we lay out our schedule is we look at events from the previous year and make sure that, okay, if that group is putting their event on weekend X, we don't want to plan anything on that same weekend. I took so much abuse this year, why I don't know, that the patriotic parade was not on the 4th of July. The Michigan City Parade has always been the Saturday before the 4th of July, and one of the main reasons is LaPorte's parade is on the 4th of July. I would say out of the 98 groups we had in the parade this year, I'll bet 60 of those groups were in the LaPorte parade. And if those groups have to choose between which parade they're going to be in, that's just not fair to them. And we work well with the city of LaPorte to try and make sure that we don't overlap. So again, we want to make sure that our events are not conflicting with anyone else. This weekend of the Sand Festival used to be the first weekend in June. Other than the fact that we had almost a snowstorm in June 2 years ago, the weather's been bad. We're always trying to not conflict with high school graduation, and for some reason they keep switching weekends. One year it's the very first weekend, the next year it's the second weekend. When the CVB canceled the jet ski races, that opened up this weekend for us, and it was a wide open weekend at Washington Park with no other activities going on. So we thought, hey, it's middle of summer, perfect time to do it. It'll help with our attendance. And now our hope is that we're going to lock in this weekend every year for this event, because it is easier for any groups to say, hey, we want to plan an event. Let's look at the calendar and make sure we're not conflicting with a bigger event that might hurt ours.
Right, because it's developed by the Halloween committee. It was a Main Street event, but now it's actually like a downtown merchant event. So we would love to talk with you.
Yeah, for sure. That would make our job a lot easier as well.
Yep.
So you said downtown merchant event.
Yes.
Downtown merchants, is that an organization or?
No, technically BAC Marketing is just taking that on, and we've partnered with the merchants to do Halloween every year, and we just have kind of been running with it. But this year we'll have an actual board. to just kind of govern the event. It makes it easier.
Oh, it's just for just that event?
Yeah, just for that.
Oh, okay.
Just for that.
Well, I just wondered if I missed something, so I was.
No.
No, it's just Halloween.
Because that's and everyone knows, communication.
Like a plug a
how do we
Halloween
get,
event.
you
Oh,
know,
it's a good,
just like
yeah.
today, you
I
know,
was talking
like,
about the
just the
Murder Mystery
communication.
Masquerade.
And everyone fights it. I know, Will had sent something out about communication, about how do we better communicate, and
And we're looking at a couple of things, not to interrupt,
No,
but we are, about to, launch a newsletter from the city and some other things. We still have money set aside for a texting platform and some other things. And again, radio, newspaper, social media, we just set up Instagram, Twitter, and got the interns doing all that stuff right now, but trying to figure out multiple, outlets to communicate. And I will say that it's probably a strong suit of mine, but the last year has been more of just in the grind of it and not that. I thought I would launch that stuff last year, and we're just in the grind of day to day, creating standard operating procedures and building, department stuff, and just really trying to create some sustainability and worry about the budget versus that part. So trying to be better, but it's slower. It's slower than I expected it to be. But all that stuff has happened. We've launched. We got TikTok now. We got, we're just trying to figure it out. How do we get out information?
no, I agree. I just in my comment on Will's is our property. Like now with just being concerned with social media, and if something's on our email or a newsletter, it's more of our property that can't be taken and, switched off.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying social media in general, like you only have so much ownership of
Oh yeah.
certain things.
Yeah.
So that's where,
Yeah.
yep.
Any other questions? You're a quiet group. It's got to be more questions. Any more questions?
Mayor, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
So we did change, so in preparation for the DORA, just so everyone knows, we did change some of the rules just recently through council through the outdoor cafes. We made them where some of these things have changed now for where you can have cafes. So in preparation for that, we basically changed it up and said wherever the Board of Works designates as the outdoor cafe is the space that can be used. So I just would throw that out there that, if you do have a business and you want to have some outdoor seating, you can come through the Board of Works now. If you have alcohol with it, it's a little bit more difficult, but if it's just a coffee place or a place you want to sit, things like that. The idea was to give more flexibility with some of the public space, alleys, things of that nature. So we did go ahead and prep for that through council, and it's already been passed. It was just a quick change to the law. Is that actually the outdoor drinking law that we have? Because we actually had to change that because the DORA was in conflict with it. Basically, we had a law that says you can't drink in public, so we had to change that law a little bit. Yeah, just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just going to give one more pitch for the Singing Sand Sculpting Festival. Obviously, this weekend, Friday through Sunday, gates open at 10 a.m. and the event goes till 8 p.m. Free on Friday. It's $5 on Saturday, $5 on Sunday. This year, if you've been there before, when you arrive, there's what they call the welcome sculpture. It's 10 tons of sand. It's turned into a giant sculpture, has all of our partners on it. This year, the Sand Lovers are going to do something with that sculpture that has never been done at a sand sculpting event ever. So I don't know what it is, but I've been told that it's never been done. The other thing I'd like to pitch is on Saturday from 10 to 3, we have what's called our Community Challenge. And all of our partners, we have some amazing partners, Arnett Construction, LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau, NIPSCO, Horizon Bank. I should read them all, but I'm not going, my head's not working. But they all get a team in the Community Challenge. And what they'll do is they'll go out and they will build a sand sculpture, and at the end of it, they'll be judged. There's 11 teams, and when each business represents a local LaPorte County nonprofit. At the end of the event, we will present each of the nonprofits with a check for $1,000. So we'll be giving away $11,000 this year to local nonprofit groups. First year we did it, we had 4. Last year we had 6. Now we're up to 11. My goal is to get to at least 20 groups next year, because again, that's money that's going right back into our nonprofits, our local charities, and I'm very proud of that. We worked very hard to make that happen. So come out, support those groups. It's going to be a great weekend, and again, come out.
So,
How many artists are you having this year?
We increased our master sculptors from 6 to 8, so we'll have 8 master sculptors, and we have 9 semi-professional. So it'll be 17 total. An incredible group, and for the first time in the long 4-year history of the Singing Sands, we actually have a sculptor from Indiana. So Indiana will finally be represented. So yeah, it's an incredible group. A lot of returning people. We have probably half of our group have been here all 4 years. And the minute the event's over, they go to Bill and beg to be on the list for next year. We've turned away, I think, 8 sculptors who wanted to come. But the reason we turn them away is because part of the event is we take care of their travel, we take care of their lodging, and we take care of their food. So every sculptor we increase, that's another couple $1,000s that we've got to come up with. So if your business wants to partner with us, we have sponsorship opportunities available.
After you, Kyle, I do have a question for everybody.
Oh, sure.
Go ahead.
When we're talking about the TBD boundary, I just thought I'd kind of put this out here. I don't know if it's necessarily a question, but you know, I'm the owner of the Cellar Doors. I mentioned my name is Kyle Hutchison, by the way, for you guys that don't know me. I live here in Chelmsford on Homer Street. We are really close to Ames Field, and now the TBD boundary has been expanded down to us essentially, right there on Franklin Street. I'm wondering about like branding the neighborhood. Like we have the Uptown Arts District, right? And then we have this area here, like it's kind of the first thing you come into, you see Ames Field, and then you're, you know, continuing down this sort of, I don't want to say lacking in identity, like there's a ton of local people live there, but it doesn't have like this branded feel of like, okay, I'm in this neighborhood or whatever, or like, for me, when I think about it, I see the Uptown Art District has all these like bicycle lock things, right? And for me, I'm like, I would love to have a row of those because people perceive us as being far from downtown, even though I think that I'm the same distance from the train station as
Perfect time.
the library or just for like Leeds or some of these like big places that do big downtown. And that if we could kind of, and I know people in the neighborhood too are interested in doing some sort of thing, some of that, have that identity of like, okay, there's First Friday over here in this neighborhood and there's this other neighborhood that does this other sort of community involvement, business involvement thing as well, kind of name or whatever. Design and insignia.
So that was next. So that's where I was going. So that was perfect time. So what I was going to ask was about branding and ideas and activation. You kind of led to that because that's my question. You know, what do we're even talking about changing the train station name right now. We're in the midst of that and having those discussions. You know, what are we called? We set aside money for new banners to hang throughout, you know, the downtown area. You know, what does that look like? I don't know. That's the input that we're seeking because branding is one thing, but activating the space and keeping people there outside of the tourist time, you know, the winter, you know, how do we do that? And that really has to come from y'all to help us guide that. We're not the business owner, but it's still my responsibility to help get people to your shops in the wintertime. And what do we need to do? Do we need to have some winter activities? You know, we talked about a Kris Kringle market and a ice skating rink, you know, on Franklin. You know, where would that go? Because we did the parade downtown last year, and I still think we should do it that way. I like it. But what would y'all want to see, and what do you want? Is it Uptown Arts and then Midtowns? I don't know. That's got to be something that becomes kind of organic, that the businesses help develop. I don't think the city wants to, I'm not creative. I'm just going to say that. I'm not creative in that light. I'm just like, you tell me what, we'll figure out. I can tell you the colors and all that. But outside of that, I mean, we have a new logo that we're utilizing, and we want new, banners throughout the city, and we want to do those things. Right now, we're looking at new welcome signs coming into the city and changing those, even at City Hall. So looking for ways to do that. But we really kind of want to hear from you. How do we activate downtown off season? But then, what kind of branding do you want to see? I want to see restaurant weeks. I want to see things that get people into the downtown, visiting the different places. As we do our bus stops, or if we have benches that have signage. I don't know what that looks like, but those are the things we need to hear from you all. Is what could be something that can be done. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, just a quick question before I make my comment. How far south is the TD boundary now?
It goes
to Amesfield.
It goes to Amesfield. It basically stops at the tracks.
Yeah.
All right. Is there, I do agree with you, I think fluidity, Franklin Street, having that fluidity from the neighborhood, we have, property a little bit more south of Mansfield. But I think that's really important. With my business, I have people, I'm actually busy in the winter, I'm slow in the summer, so I'm the opposite. But I have a lot of people saying that they're driving and spanning from a couple hour radiuses coming to us. But as they're driving down Franklin Street, they don't know, just comments that they make, they just don't know, where the downtown is, or just a little bit of a breakup. So that fluidity, of would be nice to get.
And the other piece of that too is start some type of coordination. Like, we had people here from out of town and restaurants weren't open. We were trying to do lunch and we were popping from place to place. Just that fluidity, just in business hours and who's open and who's not, is a concept. So I agree with you. I think there's a disconnect. I don't know. I would like your opinion on the two-way on Franklin as well, because that was going to be such a deterrent, and we're going to have 1,000 accidents. But we haven't. So, but again, I'm concerned. We know that that's a need from 11th Street to Amesfield, and that's why we were very adamant in including that in the TDD. So that was very deliberate in doing that.
So one other question. So I guess my question is why did it stop at Amesfield?
Oh, so there's parameters from the state.
Okay.
So, yes, the TDD, the Regional Development Authority for Northwest, pretty much for our Northwest Indiana, there are parameters through the state that you have to follow in creating your TDD. And the boundaries have so many miles and all of that. You have one opportunity within a 20-year, I think, time frame to double in size. But the initial one, there are guidelines. So that's why,
So there is opportunity for growth for the rest of the corridor.
Yeah, it's acreage bound.
Yeah, it's acreage bound, but let me mention a couple of things.
Yeah.
So, this was our North Tip, which will expire at some time. So if you go down, you'll notice that we included the Lighthouse Place, because that's not in the TIF anymore.
No, it's not.
It's not in the TIF. But then also we have the YMCA Elston, that building, but also the hospital site, right? That was intentional. So these are areas that are kind of brownfieldish in a sense that we know we want to develop. So we made sure that we included certain sites that are future growth, areas. But we have a chance to double in size, but it has to be adjacent and contiguous at some point in that to expand. So then you look at, you got the prison over there, you got NIPSCO, you got all these other things. So it was important that we got a little further to the west as well, because we can double in size only one time. within a 20-year period. But in the meantime, we got this time period to figure out what we want to do here.
Yeah, it was really the half mile drove it too. The half
Yeah.
mile is really one of the driving factors, and that really is your TOD around a train station is a quarter mile, half mile. If you're outside the half mile, that's still TOD if you're right on the edge of it, but if you're further out, so really it's bound acreage, half mile, and then like Mayor said, in the next 20 years we get one chance. Is it a double like this? Is it a double over here? It can go to 630 acres right now. We're at like 315, 314 and a half.
Yeah, and that's why it looks like an amoeba or a raptor, depending on your brain.
Raptor, now let's see it.
You know, I'm ambidextrous, so I see both.
The Iowa.
I had a quick question. Why is there a strip of gray in the middle of all the green?
Housing
Housing.
Okay.
has nothing really to do with businesses unless you want us to buy all the
Well,
houses.
what's the street in between? I'm sorry.
That is Washington and Wabash.
Yeah, those are,
Okay, well,
that's
my
residential.
business is in between those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're already in a TIF, and
Yeah.
so
Okay.
you got to keep in mind there's just already a TIF. Now you got a TDD on top of it, and we really needed to get the larger pieces of land into the TDD. So we had to give up certain things to get Lighthouse. Or
We had to get to the west.
Had to get to the west, and we had to get that's 7 acres. The old Franciscan is 7 acres of land.
Yeah, by itself.
So we had to exclude certain things.
So like, so that's, what's the top street? 4th Street in the gray area?
Yeah.
So like Lighthouse or the Lakeshore Cafe and,
Certain things we had to carve out because they're already AVs. They're already redeveloped.
okay.
So we don't get anything. It doesn't produce an increment to add something that's already developed.
Yeah,
Makes sense? So you have to get things when
it
they're.
has to be new.
Yeah. Or,
To receive an increment,
and
it
housing.
has to be new,
Right.
newly developed thing.
And housing doesn't provide we don't collect anything on housing, so you can carve all that out. It actually brings down the value of the TDD.
So if somebody was to build on that, in that area, say for instance, they were building retail or commercial or something like that, then how does that look? Like,
It would-
some empty,
You got to keep in mind, you still have a TIF in place.
Still have a tip there.
I think the question might kind of be like, what incentives does that TDD actually give, like a business, or like, what does that do if you live in
It
that?
works just like a TIF.
You might need to explain that a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to break it
So
down.
it just depends on it just depends on what you're trying to do in there, but like the things we do, like facade grants, Upper Shore Residential, they'll still exist inside there. It just depends, and actually we're in charge of our own TDD district. So in other cities, outside to the west, Lake County and all the other county, Porter County, they all have TDD2s, TDD as well. I can't even speak right now. TDD as well, districts, and they're not in charge of their TDDs. They're the RDAs. So at a regional level, the RDA is in charge of that. We are not. We are in charge of our own TDD, so we can use the money flexibly how we would like to use it. Obviously, there's state law that dictates how we use it, similar to TIF. But it's just things like Upper Shore Residential facade grants. You still have, if there's a big development opportunity, then we can get involved with bonding and things of that nature. It works very similar to the TIF district in the ways that we can give incentives.
Yes, Braylon.
I guess one thing, when you were talking about businesses being closed during hours, restaurants and whatnot, first off, we gotta support them. If we don't support them, they can't afford to pay their staff. But one thing I guess that could draw a light to downtown district here, I've been here my whole life and I didn't really learn about downtown and what was down here until 2016, maybe even 2019. Is there some kind of program within, I guess, the facade grant that can help all the businesses on that strip from 4th Street to Amesfield put up signage without fighting the system and program, having actually lit signs of each resident, each business, so that you know this is here, that's there, that's there, that's there. Because I know personally, for me, I can't afford it. And then also having to come down and pay for the permits to actually put it up, and have somebody who puts it up have a permit to put it up. It gets expensive. So is there something that we could do, or some program within this that can light up the whole strip?
I thought the facade grant covers like signage.
I'm just asking.
Oh, yeah, the facade grant covers signage, because I took an application to an actual business owner.
It does.
It does. It covers, the facade grant covers signage.
And I guess that's becomes a little bit more difficult though, because a lot of places don't own the building. So then you're finding the landlords.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Have them apply for it.
Well, no, you can apply for it. There's something in the application, because I hand delivered one.
Okay.
And there is something in the application that talks about if you are a tenant to a landlord. The landlord does give has to give some approvals, but you are the applicant, not the landlord.
Gotcha.
It's an improvement. It's like a tenant improvement. I mean, essentially,
It helps them.
Yeah, it helps them. I mean,
So I guess then, like, at that point, if there isn't lighting down there and people aren't having signage, so we don't know that, that has got to get to the small businesses so that they know that, hey, you can apply for this to get help.
And that's why we're having this, because one of the things that happened when we connected the TIF down Michigan Boulevard, we've done two facade grants down Michigan Boulevard, was getting the word out. At one point, that was someone's responsibility to go reach out to each of we're doing something different now.
Gotcha.
But that's why you have things like this, because it's available. It's available now. So I just encourage your friends and talk to even if if there's a landlord, talk to the landlord and say, hey, I want to improve the building by putting some signage to get more people in here so I can stay open and keep paying you your rent. I mean, that is really the conversation. But the application has something in there about landlords as well.
yeah, we go all the way down Michigan Boulevard to Risky, and we go, I believe, all the way down to.
All the way down, right?
We don't go all the way down past. I can't remember where. We don't go all the way down. We go to like Ames or Cool Springs. I just can't remember where the cutoff is for our facade. We don't go down to like kind of.
Yeah, but
The area down south.
this area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it definitely covers Braylon. Definitely covers where you're at, and it definitely covers down the boulevard to Rusky. We expanded all the way down.
I saw your hand back there.
I'm Leslie Samuelson, and lived in Michigan City all my life. In June 10th, there was a questionnaire put out pertaining to an innovation center in Michigan City, and I have no idea when, where, how, who. I get the newspaper, and I wasn't really aware. And so I just wanted to know any progress or what's going on with that.
Thanks. Clarence, you want to talk about that?
Good morning, Clarence Holtz. One of the things we're trying to do is to bring resources for small business or entrepreneurs to Michigan City. There are lots of things out there across the country, Midwest, Chicago, and we're going to hear about it, and we also want to know why is it not here. And so what we're trying to do is trying to figure out what are some of people's ideas. What do you guys want to do when you grow up, so to speak? And if we hear what these ideas are, how can we bring experts and resources to Michigan City? So the whole idea is to have a resource center, a location where if you have some crazy business idea, you can call us. We'll put you in touch with somebody who is the expert. They might be in Chicago, they might be in Atlanta, where you'll call him and her or that group, and you'll start having virtual conversations. But we want to have a meeting space somewhere in Michigan City where if you want to have a meeting, if there's seminars, webinars, we want to bring those ideas in Michigan City. That's the concept of having this innovation center. So it won't be our staff actually bringing these ideas to it. It'll be people who consider experts in the field. And so the idea is, how do we grow our local business, small business, with whatever idea you may have, whether it's technology, retail, whatever that is. We want to be able to help these ideas grow in Michigan City and create great companies here. So that's the concept in a nutshell.
Yeah, and or to support somebody who's doing it. So you can look at like the mill in Bloomington, that's a good model. It's kind of incubator. Now, we submitted for something like this, Ready 1.0, and we didn't get, a look at it. So that was in 2020?
2020, yeah.
It was 2020.
So we're not waiting to get the bricks on board. We're trying to get the programs first. And so, and while we're here, I'm going to talk about, we have a great, we were part of a grant program. We applied and got what they call a fellow, economic recovery fellow. And she's here, Tracy Jeffries. She's the person who was actually doing the surveys, but she's out of St. Louis, and she's here a couple times a month to talk to small business. But she brings a wealth of background in setting up business incubators across the country, small business programs. So she's here for 2 years with us to work with us. And so please tap into her while she's here. She's been a great add to our staff. We were one of 65 cities across the country who had a person like that, so we're very proud of that. We're able to compete and get that here from Michigan City. But the whole idea is to help enhance our local business community.
And there are people trying to do that, because I want to say you need to talk to Miss Tracy, okay? All right, as well. So, but yeah, so that's what the innovation, the survey was for.
Can I interject and just say, from that survey, the survey has been pulled, and we had about 25 responses. They were very positive responses. Overwhelmingly, the city would like to see this, and we are looking at rolling out a feasibility study where Mayor and Clarence will actually be able to coordinate a time where you guys connect, we'll share it, and you can see the outcome of it. And that would allow us to actually craft it into the programs that you're interested in seeing, and also looking at how we can help you as business owners that exist right now into expanding your opportunities.
Yes, I know.
I wanted to ask about, I am a small business, a very small business, only a couple of years old, and I chose to bring my business to Michigan City. This is where I want to do business because I see big things happening here, and I want to be a part of that. And I want my business to be a part of that. So my question is, as we grow as a city and as we develop as a city, are there any plans at the city level for small business space? I think we touched on it a little bit with an idea center or an incubator. I will tell you, as a very small business, and I know that there's private enterprise plays into that as well, but small business space small business office space is exceptionally limited in Michigan City, where you would maybe have foot traffic or if you have clients in or that sort of thing. So I'm just wondering, is that on the radar for the city? I'm not quite sure. Again, private business ownership, private building ownership, you can only do what you can do. But as the city grows and as we develop and things are built, is this being looked at to make sure that
this is what this is?
Yeah.
I mean, this is
We're talking about it and how to
this is kind of what this is. But I do encourage you. I've gone a couple of times to the mill. I went and did a visit, I think in 2021, to the mill in Bloomington. The concept is very simple. It's a membership concept. Depending on your level of membership, what you get out of it. Which is good for small groups. A lot of them grow out of that space, but it was anywhere from $50 to $250 a month. You can just come in the booth and have a meeting or whatever. I think it's a great concept. I don't think everybody needs brick and mortar. We learned that during COVID, that you don't have to have brick and mortar necessarily to run a business. You don't have to have a drive-through to run a business. And I think people adapt in that way. So that is what the Innovation Center is. It could be something that's kind of a little bit of both, the incubator, small business center, all of that in one. So, yeah.
So it's a concept right now. We're trying to formalize it, and having her here, having you guys answer the survey. That's all part of that. One of the things we want to do is apply for grants federally, but we need to hear from the small business. What are your needs? We can't go ask for something if you don't do that.
Yeah.
I'd like a copy of the if it's still open.
We'll have probably a meeting, as a webinar, just so we're going to discuss the survey.
Is there a way to get a sign up for people who didn't do the survey that we could let them
I was
do
just
it?
getting ready to roll it out and say, who all in here saw the survey? Did anybody take the survey? So one person, so two people?
So maybe we get a sign up sheet and you can just send the survey directly to
Yeah,
them?
so, yeah, I can take this sign-in sheet, I can send everyone out this link, if you can respond quickly, it will only take like maybe 5 to 7 minutes, and I can roll that into the data that I have, so that would greatly help, because it's about 26 of you out here, so that'll give us a little bit over 50 responses, that'd be great. So
Thank you.
I'll do that.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Do you feel there's like a lack of office space for your business as well? It seems
Yes.
like
Yes.
maybe, or the kind of space you're looking for in the right location, you know, or
A lack of space. So I will tell you that we, as a business, we've had a great year of growth. We've had a lot of support from local area businesses and nonprofits that we serve. And we're growing as a company, but not necessarily incubation space. There's a need for that,
Right.
absolutely. But as you're moving kind of up and growing, what I found as I was searching, and it took me about 6 months to secure a location, which, but I also had a more narrow idea of where I wanted to be. But I did broaden my horizons, and I will say that, again, there's private enterprise, right? So, but the rent prices for small to mid-size office space, I had a very hard time finding it, and if I did find it, it was exceptionally expensive. And I'm not talking about street frontage, because that's something that, or retail frontage, that's something different. But it's something to look at as we grow as a community.
And I guess depending on the service too, I mean, as we move through, I don't want to spend a lot of time on the Opportunity Hub, but we are working, you know, at the Elston location to create an Opportunity Hub. And depending on service, there's going to be office space available there. So, I mean, depending on what and who. But that's another conversation.
So you're talking about like a flexible office space
Yep.
or co-working type.
That and kind of the next step up, so small dedicated office.
Correct,
Mhm.
yes.
What we did see, and what I did see in some of the surveys, just a little sneak peek on it, is that some of the things, that was your concern about office space, but, you know, having that office space and then helping you go into the community for a standalone, how we can fill up our main street with the businesses that are actually open. Because I'm here and I'm visiting, and I love to shop, so open your doors, and I spend my credit card up. But there's some businesses that are never open when I come. And so getting those businesses that want to be open and get people here.
You gotta get
because you
people
do have
there.
a strong tourism that you can capitalize out of. So having that space where you're there in the business, but then how do we help you become a commercial owner? How do we help you in that aspect and having not only a business owner, but now you have assets as a business owner to help you grow your business even more. So that is some of the things we're looking to do to try to put here in Michigan.
and we have been working with people come talk to Clarence and I, developers, and we know there's a shortage of really new office space and things like that. It's something you get asked about a lot, and we've been trying to work with some of the developers to say, hey, could you not just retail, could it have some office in it as well? You know, could it be flex, could it be moved around walls, you know, like where you don't need 2,000 square feet, you need 500, you know, or something like that. So
All right, well, I know our time is coming near, so I'll let y'all close it.
Thank you for coming here, and just to, we'll probably do this again probably in the fall, but the whole idea is there's a lot going on in the city right now, and I want to make sure you guys are part of it. This is your home. You invested, you know, time and money here in Mission City. We want you here, want you to grow, want you to succeed. The city is there to help you. The staff is here, police, fire, planning. I mean, they're all here because we have a best interest to make sure business grow. And you've taken a risk to, you know, invest your life savings here. We want to make sure you make money while you're here and do well. So we want to help you do that, and so we're always trying to find new ideas. But communication is key, as the mayor said. It's two-way. It's not one-way. It's one thing to blast us on Facebook, but come and talk to us, pick up the phone and call. I'll see you get things done. Because, yeah, that's how things work. You pick up the phone, call, tell us what the issues are. We're trying to figure it out. We don't always have the answer right away, but we try and make things work because we all live here. This is our home. And so we all live here. We want to make things work for everybody. The restaurants, we got some great restaurants. There's more coming. As Skylar talked, the liquor license, we're trying to become a little foodie town because people love to eat. So if they love to eat, they'll come to our town, they'll come and walk around, they'll come and shop. And so we want to keep that growing. Please change your website. Make sure your hours are right. Some of your hours are still winter hours. So make sure your hours are summer hours on your website because people will not come to your location at a certain time. It's just not open the right time of the day. So please check your websites. But lots going on. Check the city's website. They wrote a new website. Check our website. What is the city website?
Michigan City. No, it's MichiganCityIN.gov.
MichiganCityIN.com and our EDCMC.com. And so there's a whole lot of information on those two sites. Please check with the Chamber's site. They have a lot of great events at the Chamber all the time. We work closely with them and doing business seminars and all that. A lot of events, after hours, morning hours events, but the Chamber has a lot of great events. If you're a small business, you got to tap into your local chamber. That's where you meet other people, interact, network, do business. So that's one of your first memberships. I think you guys have like a discount for. Yeah, and Kurt, do y'all have anything coming up or anything you would like to share? That would be helpful.
Yeah, so I've been at the chamber for a little bit over a year, but I've been involved with chambers for about 20 years. So I've been learning Michigan City over the last year, and Monica is our new membership director, and we are, the chamber has been in good shape for a long time, but we're here to not reinvent the wheel, but to reinvigorate the wheel. So we want to work with all of you to learn what you need the chamber to be, how we can support you. So we're here to collaborate with you any way that we can. We do have a lot of networking opportunities right now. We're starting a Michigan City magazine that will be direct mail out to residents in Michigan City, so that is coming up. So we're trying to create ways for you to get the word out about your businesses to the residents of Michigan City.
Awesome.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yes.
Real quick, would it be appropriate to know who was at the meeting here and to be able to, if she was emailing,
We had a sign-in sheet.
we have a sign-in
We didn't want to
sheet,
take the time. 'Cause- Yeah.
not to introduce everyone, but to have that kind of
Available.
available so we understand if we wanted to reach out to somebody who was talking. So,
Okay, yeah, we can provide that in the email and
Yes.
just, that,
Great.
I don't know, Dan, did you have anything, to add either? Dan is our, executive director of our tourism bureau.
Yeah, I guess germane to this conversation, thanks, Mayor. As part of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, quality of place, we have 8 pillars that we operate. Quality of place is one of them. It wasn't in the plan specifically as a named pillar until last year. So we're putting a renewed focus on it. We've always focused on it, but I don't think we've got out the story very well. And like we were very involved with sitting in a couple weeks ago to a month ago with the short-term rental situation and looking at that. And Mayor, I want to talk to you after this meeting, but we're going to have a meeting tonight with some of our first committee meeting. So these meetings are excellent. I've been very impressed with the way the conversations go and the people who have attended and what they've shared. I'm learning a ton. I've only been with the Bureau since January. And so I'm really interested to learn all I can and figure out how the Convention and Visitors Bureau can work hand in glove with the city and the different entities within the city. So light bulbs are going off in my head every time I come to these. I'm leaning in more and more. We want to get to the table.
Thank you.
And then I was just going to wrap up. We have 2 small business seminars. One in September 9th. That one's going to be more focused on manufacturers, but November 18th, we're going to do a small business seminar in partnership with the Chamber and the Indiana Small Business Development Center for minority-owned business. If you have an idea of a small business seminar that you want to see, please reach out to me, and I am happy to coordinate that and get that set up. We shoot to do about 6 a year. So again, if you have any ideas for a small business seminar that you're interested in, some of your counterparts are interested in, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help coordinate that.
Got it.
Thank you again, all, for showing. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good for tonight.